monkeys. Those are these Chinese not going to be animals. There's something wrong with them. All right? Oh, here you go. Somebody. Weird. Just want to be able to come in your house and the dogs and tear their ass up. You like the salt. You're playing with them and knocking them under the chair, bro. Don't play with it. Was that good? Yeah. Yeah. Come on. You know you want to come on. Come on. Go ahead. Get it. Go. Come on. Get it. What? I'm a talking wolf. Look at me. All this drinking. Look at sniffing that new book. Gotta sniff every book that come in here, man. You ready with the bed for me to read, Bubba? You gotta sniff every book that come up in here, man. All right, as long as you ain't fall over, we good, fool. Blow my nose. Oh, that lavender smells so good. I'm gonna start wearing my white one, or my blue, or my maroon. He's not gonna eat it. He'll lick it and then oh, damn, so I'm gonna throw the garbage away. Oh, it didn't work. I gotta do it again, I think. Like if you're a boxer, you know not to throw a punch too hard. Sometimes though, when I'm getting like shadow boxing, right, and I'm, and I'm bobbing and weaving, you know what I'm saying? And I'm coming with the left cross, and sometimes I throw it hard, and it's like crick, because I be still do pull-ups and chin-ups, even when I was really like sick, well, whatever you want to call that, right? I still get 5 to 10, at least 2 sets, at least, knowing that I shouldn't do too much, and sometimes I get that crick in the neck, But yeah. Yeah, so it's still that little crick there, you know what I'm saying? Let me turn this down. This is too hot for me. I was outside and I came in, I didn't realize it was that hot. He likes it hot, I like it cold. And 72 is just too hot for me. 72 degrees is just well, it's not too hot. I mean, I can go up 75, it's comfortable. But yeah. Yeah, I was out there with this on, so just the regular old Timberland hoodie, original one, the first ones that didn't have the little Timberland except for the tag in it. So let's go ahead. I didn't even eat all my meal, y'all. It's still like half of it there. I mean, I'm getting ready to do this like 3-day water fast, but it's not I'm waiting for this hydrogen water to hydrogenate. I got the liquid drops. I don't like the liquid drops. They make me feel kind of weird. I don't trust them. But I'm waiting for that to come in. So I'm gonna do it, but I know I'm gonna be cramping because I'm not taking no vitamins, no nothing. And I'm just gonna let myself go through it. I'm not trying to lose weight. I really didn't want to lose the 40, 20 something pounds I lost. But sometimes we gotta correct some of the things that this enemy on our soil and positions and places, poisoning our food and everything else. We have to change it. Let's go ahead and get this reading in. Let me say hi to everybody. Yo, Ganja, what's going on, beloved? Snoo, what's up, baby love? There we go. Benji Namsi, what's going on? What's cracking, beloved? Those are the hand. I got you, Ganja. So I was just attempting to wait for more people to come in, but I went to Big Dog Philly had that live yesterday, like almost 7 hours. Maybe it was over. I watched about 2.5, 3 hours. It's too long. It was open chat, so it was good. And then told you about, I checked on Navi, Poet. I checked out a bunch of individuals. I always do. I support our people. A lot of our people have a hard time with that. I believe in subscribe. Even if you're not doing anything, I'll subscribe to your channel. If I haven't, my apologies. Sometimes I don't comment on everything. It's not because I can't or I don't want to. It's just I haven't got around to it. I do watch a lot of documents, just to let you know. I do. I really do. I watch documents because what the hell?
Some people would call. They said that they saw you walk.
You got to be kidding me, man.
You were gonna get his. Everything all right?
Yeah.
They must be nosy. They probably being nosy again. I've got sounds on the TV, but it's coming. Yeah, they're being nosy again, y'all. Somebody's on my TV watching like a dummy.
Some people would call. They said that they
And
saw you walk and they were just.
it's set up for both of them to go at the same time. It's just they're incredibly stupid. Let me go out and see something. I want to see something right quick. See if they change the notifications. Just want to see something, guys. So they're able to hide when they log in now because I've been talking about it. All right, now let's see.
You married? No.
All right, now we're good. Yeah, they changed it. So every day I can see every time they log in on my TV. Now there's no notification showing they logged in. I screenshot it. I should have sent it to my here and showed you some of the codes they use to log in every time, changing it up. Upstairs, it used to be the so-called 5G. It used to be around 45, 48. Now it's 60, 66, 60. So they're increasing the output. So whatever's going to happen there, they're about to get to it. Okay? Because nobody's moving. Everybody's staying as if it's going to blow away. You would think, well, Red, you're not moving. I'm not worried about it. I like non-believers. And for the religious guys, yeah, I have more respect for Muslims. And I'm talking about not the perverted ones. I'm talking about the ones that live ethically by Islam. Much more respect for them. There's reasons why. But also, in religion, nowhere says, this is why you know people don't read, nowhere it says to sit by comfortably and let the antagonist antagonize, nor let the enemy trounce upon you. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that. You fight back. Otherwise, Masada would have never existed in the Bible, and a plethora of Noah and Moshe, all of them were ass kickers. Samson. Do I need to keep going on? Peter wanting to slay as he did before. Paul, Cro-Magnetic. I mean, do we have to keep going? Nowhere. But the black boule, the black whatever, I hate saying that term. Those goofy Negroes in the church would have you sit there and be this love, love, love. Like you should be singing the Beatles anthem. So I actually recorded demonology because it's reading it to you guys. I don't like making the mistakes I do with words because literally it's written like old Sanskrit text of English. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to keep having people perplexed. Like, what did he just read? And if you don't have the booklet or the PDF, you can't read along with me. Some of you be like, oh, probably going, thank you, Red, because I damn sure didn't know what that said. but I like old would be OLDE, and that was the way I remember it spelled in my school when I was, in middle school. Actually, um, when you talk about necromancers or ignorance or necromancers or witches, right? Necromancy, yes, as if it was to the concierge, but meaning melanated. Black actually alludes to pale. That it means black in its vernacular is white. Necro is into negro or black. For those which black means white, but not what people think as far as magic or witchcraft. Those two weak narratives. So I actually recorded myself reading the last, getting to chapter 2. Okay, and I'm gonna upload it. It's short, it's sweet. You know. So other than that, let's go ahead. We're gonna get to exposing the expositions. Midginam seed. Okay, you got you already, right, beloved? Yeah. So let's go ahead and get exposing the expositions, 1851-1915, revised. It's a revised edition from its 2019. It's 2021 by Howdy Mikowski. Shalaga, Court of Honor. No pale skin, no Peckerwood came here and made that. None. Somebody was asking me, well, if you know what Tartaria, why did they come here and start destroying? I said they were destroying everywhere, but not everywhere. In Germany and Prussia, in Russia and Prussia, still a lot of the buildings are incorporated. Newark is called Brick City, and if you walk around Newark, as I used to show people, a lot of those old buildings, of the Woolworth building was a Tartarian building. It wasn't Woolworth. That's a fake Jew taking a building and, because of what they wanted to do, have riches and put us in a lower position. And they just built above because we use cobble and bricks to relay the roads. And the old railroad, we were the original conductors of the trains. And Newark, but you have these pale skins that keep running with their world history, traveling around talking about African Americans. They are so stupid, man. Here you got the offsprings of Cabot, and they give you the fake history. Yeah, my great-great-grandpa came from Ireland. Oh, after they sacked Ireland, huh? Great, would have to be 4 to 5 times over if you're talking about the 18 or 19, early 1900s. The two that they don't know how to get it together, even in their fake narrative. That's when they sacked Ireland and Scotland. Raped the women and made those that the so-called Ashkenaz. They detested them. They saw them as a lower beast because they didn't come out like them. Research it. The problem is they won't research it because they'll only research what they've been told. So it's not just the melanated, because the majority of people still in the world on welfare. While you're talking about Mexicans are getting together and they're running that, majority of pale skins and a lot of these foreigners on welfare. A lot of people are too still, but not as many. A lot of people actually millionaires or 5 digits. If these dumb Negroes, these women would stop and these men would stop having abortions and sexing each other like they're retarded. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go ahead and get into Chicago's history. Old Chicago Federal Building. I like when I showed y'all this last time. This is constructed, they say it's constructed in 1898 and then demolished in 1965. That's right, it was still there in the beginning of Vietnam. You think they could build that? They didn't know the first thing about it building into that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had us repair the damn Capitol, right? The state building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They wouldn't have had us rebuild them. Or lay out the whole foundation, talking about, what's his name? It was a Mason. He laid it out with the pentagram, with the obelisk. The obelisk was always here. They had an obelisk in California. Had an obelisk. They had obelisks in Louisiana. They had obelisks a lot of places. They destroyed them. History. Want to believe it or not. So it is in Chicago, or it was in Chicago. This was the building claimed to have been built between 1898 and 1905, just after the exposition ended. This was it. One would immediately know it was built at the time because this was not a temporary structure. It was full of marble and stone columns in a giant dome. How many thousands of horses would be needed to move the shovels of dirt? How many tens of thousands of men digging and hauling stone? Why is something like that needed? And a similar one needed in every city in the United States. Yes, one of these were in every so-called fake city. Okay? And it wasn't called the United States. So tired of it. Anyway, I already hit him with a couple of things. During this period, mind you, of course, it survived only until 1966, when it was demolished to build the new Kludzinski Federal Building. Kludzinski Federal Building, which looks like a giant monolith from 2001 Space Odyssey. Why? It would be easy to make this a simple case of comparing old world architecture to modern architecture. T. Hans, what's up, beloved? But I want to be clear that buildings like the old Chicago Federal Building were in fact ancient art in stone. It holds the same principles of geometry, harmonic proportion, and energy creation that can be found at the Parthenon, and the luxury temple of Chartres. Modern buildings are not harmonic or built to balance human energy, not at all. Now you wonder why you're so weak, indecisive, can't make decisions. I will present the difference between ancient and modern art at the end of this book, which is pretty awesome. This chapter is a historical look at the origins of these cities, how fast they were built up, almost magically, looking like postcards of ancient Rome. Now, the buildings in turn were either burnt down in fires that do not at all seem like fires, or blown up, right? Or were demolished to build things like the Kludzinski Building. A few of these old marvels continue on today and are labeled museums, universities, or courthouses. Yeah. What survives is just a small portion of what was. Now, if the Jews were real, they know that it would have to be what tribe? The Levites, right? To hold court. What do you have? A bunch of perversions, offsprings of orphans and Cabbage Patch secret societies grouped in, given a little better than everybody else, made to believe that they accomplished something, while they're stagnant, easily bought and paid for, subservient as they are, and partake in other things that are pretty nasty. Now, the historical story of Chicago claims that French explorers first came to the area in the late 1600s, finding only local Algonquin natives. And we know they were melanated Negroes. A fort was built and a few log homes were built, but none of the wooden structures were reported to make it through the War of 1812. It was only when the city was incorporated by big northern businessmen in 1837, due to the fact the spot would be a central point on an east-west transport system, that the city really began. This historical representation means that every building that has ever been in Chicago must have only been built after 1837. By the time of the 1893 World's Fair, Chicago, and we know that's a lie, okay, blatant. Chicago was a city of massive hotels, towers, domes, and Roman columns, all all supposedly built in less than 60 years. This would have been an amazing achievement if it were not that most of the city was burnt down in the Grand Fire of 1871. They always tell you about San Francisco, which was a lie too. But I will get into the fires shortly. But for now, we are looking at the origin of Chicago and its Roman-like buildings. The name of Chicago itself is the first problem I have with this city's history. The standard historical claim is that it was a French rendering of the Native American word Chicago, a type of onion. The place name Chicago was, and that's spelled Checagou for those who aren't aware, was found in a memoir by Robert de la Salle in 1679, while Henry Jotet's journal of 1688 noted that the wild garlic called Chicago grew abundantly in the area. This was supposed to be a native village built here because this location provided a fairly short portage between Lake Michigan and the Mississippi River system. However, yeah, you know, the real Nile. However, early maps tell a different story, and you can pull those early maps out. And we were well living in them. ceremonial longhouses with the heads of all the clans of tribes, or however you want to look at it, which don't mean feathers and plumage and scarves and crap, all that, and wigwams for sweat lodges and everything else, mitigated. And then right back to the cities of dirt for grounding as we move, or red clay, in a lot of cities, bricks, to which they did not do. Okay, let's mark that off. And that's Mongolians, and y'all didn't do that over there in Mongolia either, so please. Some of the Mongols aren't actually Mongolians. They are about women, several generations apart. So they look like Mongolians, but no, not all of them are. But even the original Mongolians weren't people you see today. They look different. So, okay, let's go ahead. Heaven bearers. The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood. That's not slight or slander. It's just the truth. Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood by Janine Helen. Okay. It's a bigger picture than that, but that's the one that she used for the shot. Oh, look. All right, let's get into the meat of this. I want a pickle so bad. Oh, look at that. I'm looking right at it. Like, why am I looking past it? I forgot. I went and got it for a reason. Excuse me, cucumber. With dill. Oh my goodness. A little garlic in there, but it's good. 3. That's good. I was looking at people who I dated or I knew who passed away in the last few years. Monique Frazier, she was my friend, fiance. She passed away about 4 years ago. 3 years ago? 4 years ago. I miss her. Wonderful person. Smart, college educated. But that dope beat her up. She got off of it. But you know what? She passed away when this thing started. Living in Brooklyn. Following my footsteps. Anyway, the Earth speaks. I should have turned the notifications off. Let's go ahead and get into it. If you remember, we were at the other day. We were looking about where she had fled, and Malcolm, was going to find her and all that kind of stuff, right? Or something like that. And she got a ride by some old folks, Tartarians. They told her about meeting somebody, blah, blah, blah. Let's take it up from there. It is a small town, but big enough to have accommodations, and she looks for a small hotel or restaurant. There is a human sitting on the sidewalk, polishing a pair of shoes, and she is distracted by him. He looks like he is about 13 years of age. He has brown hair and little brown spots on his cheeks and nose. She can't help but smile at his cute appearance. Excuse me, I am sorry to bother you, but I am looking for a restaurant or hotel. Can you tell me where your mother is? Can I help you? Her voice disturbs her, and she turns towards the voice and sees a Tartarian man standing with a blade in his one hand and a cloth in the other. She looks at him carefully and feels relieved at the sight of him. Yes, hello. My name is Bonnie. I am in desperate need of a place to stay and something to eat. She pauses and looks down at her hand in shame. I have no money, though. Can't help you then. Sorry. He turns to walk away. No, wait, please. Can you not help a fellow Tartarian? Please, I have a long journey ahead of me. What did you say your name was? His eyes move and notice her big belly. Bonnie, my name is Bonnie. He begins to walk away. And Daphne, my real name is Daphne, she says out loud, hoping it will get his attention. Hot second. I'm gonna turn the notifications off. Hold on. Hot second. My apologies. I couldn't stand that. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, excuse me. Hoping that will get his distraction. Okay, get his attention. Excuse me. The man stops in his track and takes a moment to gather himself. Mikhail, go find your mother. Quickly, he orders. The teenage boy runs off in a hurry, and the man gestures for her to follow him down the little pathway. He takes her to a small wooden house with a bright blue door. There is laundry hanging on the washing line, and the wind starts to pick up. He walks up to a small stone well and hands her some water. She is grateful and gulps it down as quickly as she can. She wipes her mouth and already feels better. I can't say I expected you, but I did hear about the prophecy. He pulls a face as he glares into the sun. To the sun, and sips some water and pours the rest of it over his head to cool down. The metal cup in his hand reflects the sunlight onto the ground, and she follows it with her eyes while she listens to him talk. A woman comes running over, and she smells like honey and flour. Hello. She takes a good look at Bonnie. What is your name, dear? My assigned name is Bonnie, but my real name is Daphne. She takes a deep breath. Don't even try and hurt me. I have powers, or rather abilities, so you leave me be, she warns them. The woman laughs softly and looks over at the man. My name is Janae, and this is my brother, Keena. Don't sound like no pale skin names to me, but anyway. We welcome you to our home. She stretches out her hand and gives Bonnie a soft hug and helps her inside of the house. Not bad, huh? Malcolm spends the next week pretending nothing is wrong and throws himself into his work. Jane is hovering, and he doesn't trust her like he used to. He doesn't trust anyone these days, and he feels like someone is constantly watching him. Her reaction to the news that Bonnie had run off was sinister in itself, and there is something about her that seems very wrong, even dangerous. She tends to his every need, and he distracts himself with work. He starts to work on the plan on how to handle the situation with Samara and the genetically inferior Phoenicians. He will send one of his men with a letter to Asia and see how she will respond. If favorably, he will plan his trip for the very next day and assess the situation in person. He has never enjoyed ordering the death of his fellow Phoenicians, but it was simply the order of things, a kind of sacrifice to the heaven bearers. At least that is how he saw it. There needs to be death in order to make room for new life. Y'all paying attention? That is what Lisa used to always say, and he can't help but remember that. He thinks about the childhood, and the hair on his arm stands up with the thought that someone like her could raise his children, his two sons. Children, I know I say children. Sons, he laughs out. He has no idea what gender they are, and he misses Bonnie deeply. He even misses getting angry with her. And he quickly erases her from his thoughts and begins to draft the letter to Samara. He hands the letter to Jane and asks her to post it immediately. Little does she know that he plans to send another copy of the letter himself. She grabs a coat and immediately hurries off, and he follows her. She walks down the end of the road and turns in the opposite direction of the post office, and he follows her all the way to the opera house. Harlow is waiting there for her, and she hands the letter to him. Harlow, of all people? He is very surprised to see Harlow. Perhaps Azrael has asked him to keep an eye on him, in case he goes looking for Bonnie, perhaps. He posts the letter and then walks back to the house slowly. He has nothing to go home to, and for the first time, he feels empty inside. 2 days later, he receives the news that Ahra killed herself, and that she left a note explaining how she couldn't live anymore after having to endure the tragic death of Rune. Malcolm knew she cared for him in her own way, but not enough to die for him. He figured they got whatever they could get out of her and then killed her. He isn't sure if he feels bad that she is dead, but he knows he will miss seeing her and ruin when he goes to New York in the future. He sits back in his leather chair and wonders what she knew, what she told them, and how long she has been working with the resistance for. More importantly, he wants to know why. He would never have guessed this. He never even sensed this, and it bothers him tremendously. He is suddenly sad that she is dead and can't help but question if she deserved it. He shakes the thought and distracts himself with the fact that he will have to kill the Phoenicians in Asia soon. It isn't easy to kill a Phoenician, at least not for another Phoenician, a Tartarian, or a human. Excuse me. Phoenicians need to feel fear, and only once they have felt a sufficient amount of fear will they reveal their biggest weakness. It is in this moment that one must strike, as this is when their heart opens up and is exposed. Their hearts need to be punctured or ripped out of their chests in order for them to die. He has heard about other ways, but as far as he knows, they are just myths. Stabbing them is the least messy means to kill them, as they don't bleed much from their heart this way, although it is very time-consuming, especially to get some of them to feel fear. His orders over the years have resulted in many deaths. He has never bothered to count just how many, but if he had to guess, he would assume that both directly and indirectly he has been responsible for the deaths of at least 10,000 people, both Tartarians and Phoenicians. But he has not yet killed a human. He stops for a moment and realizes this for the first time. He doesn't like what is happening to him. She has made me soft. That is Bonnie. Next, we'll be getting into chapter 12. And yes, it gets even deeper and juicier. To me, this is juicy. Well, anyway, we're at 40 minutes. I appreciate. Shout to High Bell. What's going on, Devin Moore? What's going on, beloveds? What's cracking? What's cracking? I hope y'all enjoyed the Marcus Williams. I hope y'all enjoyed the reading. I just wanted to shout everybody out. And you already know. If you haven't subscribed, hit that like and share it. I appreciate it. I'm gonna upload the demonology probably this evening. Well, later on, probably around 11 or 12, or I might upload it in the morning because I want to do another video. I want to record another read so that way I can have the two to upload, and I would appreciate everybody taking the time when it uploads to give it a listen. They're short reads, but it's pretty interesting. And somebody asked me to do this, so I'm gonna do it again. I'm just gonna go somewhere in the book. I don't care where. So I want you to take a look at the words, and then I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna shout at everybody out. Look at the words. No, really look. Can you read it? Can you read that? I don't know if the mirror is on. Excuse me. Hold on. Okay. Is it? Yeah, I think I set it up when I first came on. If it's not mirrored, you can still take it and you can flip it around on your phone if you screenshot it. And it's not that you had to read. This is somewhere deep into the book, page 38 or something like that. But you see? It's a doozy. That's why I actually read it for like twice before I actually recorded it. And still some of the words are, you know what I mean? You can see it. Oh, thank you, honey. Anyway, stop. You want to go outside? I'll let you outside. I appreciate y'all taking the time. Yeah. And I'll see y'all in the AM.